Hey, eu sou o Kiko e você está assistindo Horns Up Rocks.
We're here in New York City with Kiko. Of course, you know him from Angra, many other projects too. What brings you to New York, my friend?
Thanks, it's a pleasure. It's fun.
What brings you here?
Well, some promotions, some interviews, you know. I'm living in California now, so I'm getting away from Brazil for a little while, you know. Actually, things are in Brazil is getting pretty wild now with some protests and stuff going on there. But yeah, so I'm doing some tour in U.S.
Yeah, we gotta talk about this. It's your latest baby, latest project.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to produce this, this effort, and who did you work with?
Actually, it was not that long. I kind of like 2-3 months to compose the song. Some old ideas, but mainly I have this moment, this creative moment that I always waiting for. This moment that you stop everything you're doing and kind of feels like, okay, that's time to have this moment to be more creative, to be like inside the studio, home studio, and working old ideas and new ideas. So that took like 3 months, and then like a kind of produced a demo, my own demo that I could send to the guys to record the album. So we have on drums Virgil Donati. He's based in California, so he recorded there the drums. I have I was living in Finland by that time. Actually, the cover and everything we did in Finland. It looks like I'm freezing. I'm white and no sun there. You can see by the cover. And so I did all the rest in Finland. One song was recorded by Doug Wimbish from Living Color, so he recorded here in US, and so it was like I have some Brazilian percussionists sending some tracks from Brazil. Some other percussion stuff I did there in Finland with a Chilean guy. And the bass player was played by the Angra bass player, Felipe, and he did in Brazil. So it was kind of very confusing in a way, with things recorded in Finland, in the United States, and in Brazil. And we mixed in Germany. So I was in Germany too. So I flew in some other places, but thanks for internet, it was easy to set the schedule and stuff and send the files and all this. So nowadays it's much easier to do a project like this and involving like musicians from different continents.
Yeah, a very international project for sure.
Yeah, it is. In the end, you travel a lot, and then you get to know like people from different countries, and then you want to play with them somehow, and then. But that today is possible,
Of course. Hey, why Sounds of Innocence? I had to ask you that.
Well, the name came because nowadays when you're like in this creative moment, and then you start after many years. I recorded many albums with Angra. I did many tours, and then that's my fourth solo album, instrumental album, and then that's what we call experience, right? When you do the same stuff for a long time, and then there's a good side of being experienced in something, because then you go to the studio, you know what you do, you can record faster, you know how to compose fast. But in the other side, you get frustrated with the music business. You think also, I'm not gonna do this because this I did already, or I know how it's gonna, it's not gonna end, and nothing's gonna happen. You also get a bit frustrated with the stuff. With the experience can be negative in a way too. And then what we need in this moment is like to be innocent, like I was when I was 20 or 17. That I was really into like I was I'm gonna conquer the world with my music. I'm gonna be a superstar. I wanna play better than anybody. So this feeling that you can do anything, or this feeling that everything that you do you like, is very important for any creative moment, for creativity. So you do something and you say, that's me, I like it, or I have to like it. And you learn to like everything you do. And then all the melodies, mainly, about the melodies, about the chords you choose, about the melody you create, you have to be proud of yourself. You're doing that. That's you there, you know, with all the influences. So you have to carry this innocence on that, believing that you're doing a great job anyway.
Right, of course. And hey, which are your musical influences growing up? You know, of course, nowadays.
Well, I always mention like Led Zeppelin as like Jim Page as my first, the first band that kind of hooked me up with rock somehow. And my first guitar teacher, you know, he taught me how to play Black Dog riff, and it took me a month to play that. Not well, and not that good, but I remember also when I was a teenager, very young, and we had the Rock in Rio festival in Brazil. I was too young to go, but I could see. I was watching the TV in the same week we had in Brazil. At that time there was not many concerts going on there. So in the same week, suddenly you have AC/DC, Scorpions, Ozzy, Iron Maiden, Queen, Yes. Who else? Whitesnake, George Benson, and so in the same week in the show in the TV every day, the guys in the swimming pool, the hotels, and hanging there in Rio, and then the shows. I was like, wow, this. So I started listening more to these bands, and I was already a rock, a heavy metal fan. But with this impact of seeing all these stars there in Brazil and playing and stuff, it was very impressive. That took me into music like deeply.
And you started playing the guitar pretty young, and actively. You had a couple bands, early on.
Yeah, when I was 17, 16. I was teaching guitar when I was 16, 17 already. Some friends and stuff. I started acoustic with the acoustic guitar, the nylon classical stuff, when I was 11, 12. Mm-hmm. Then, playing all this Spanish kind of things. And then I was getting into the Led Zeppelin or Iron Maiden and Metallica and all these bands. And then I switched to the guitar. And then, everything started there. But the bands were like, I was 16, 17, yeah. And Angra, I was 19.
Yeah, you guys were young when you got your quote-unquote break.
Yeah, we were young and not experienced at all. That's like innocent. And then we did this demo tape back then, like a cassette tape. And then we sent to a guy that we knew from Germany that was kind of a manager that knew somebody in Japan that could send this demo. And then this tape went through, Brazil, Germany, and Japan. Japan, the JVC, they liked. And then they financed the first album. And then in Brazil, we didn't know anybody that could record a proper rock metal album. So with that money, we flew to Germany, recorded the album, and it was gold disc in Japan. We didn't expect that. And then we were there in Brazil, living our normal lives, and we were gold disc in Japan, and magazine covers and stuff. And then everything started from there. From that. That's Japanese gold record, Then we got excited. I was doing a biology university. Then I quit the biology university, and then we start playing more, small gigs in Brazil. Try to get the record deal in Europe and Brazil, and everything started from that. So I was 20 or something.
Yeah, and by no means has it been easy for Angra at all. As you know, there's been a lot of different, obstacles that you have to, go through.
Oh yeah. I'm telling the story of the gold disc, but it's something. It actually didn't change the life of anybody, there, because it was in Japan. Our life was the same, the same kind of, life in São Paulo, in Brazil, and then it was very difficult to get a record deal in Latin America or in Europe. It took a year to get a record deal, even if being gold record in Japan. Then after that, to start doing tours, but it's always difficult. Any band, I think, is always difficult. The most difficult part, besides touring, that get far away from your family and stuff, is having a good vibe inside the band. Keep this, this good connection, the relationship among 5 men. That's
it's like a marriage.
Yeah, it's a tough marriage. I think marriage is much easier.
And what's next for Angra? Of course, you're focused on Sounds of Innocence, but what's in the agenda for Angra coming up?
Yeah, I'm releasing the album now, Sounds of Innocence. We're playing. I was in Brazil. We did a show that Virgil Donati was there, and then we did a big show in a very nice theater in Brazil, in the Central Park of São Paulo, and then hopefully that's gonna come out, a DVD out of this show. But so I'm gonna be working on this, the editing and the mixing of this show now, and then in August, I'm touring with Angra in August, late July, August. So in 2 weeks I'm flying to South America to do there's like 13 shows, like Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Chile. So we're doing many shows now in August.
Yeah, as you know, and you brought it up before, you know, in South America especially, metal has grown in a big way. Now you have a lot of festivals, a lot of concerts happening constantly. A lot of bands now are able to go and tour over there, and that's something that we growing up, we didn't have that. And it's kind of cool because if it wasn't for musicians like yourself, you know, your bandmates in Angra and other bands out there who have really kind of helped to kind of say, okay, South American music, Latin American music is as strong as, you know, all the other bands, you know.
But I still think, well, the shows and the festivals are, yes, but the bands are still, we don't have many bands. I still comparing to other countries, you know. But of course, I think Sepultura was the first band that did, you know, made it abroad. You know, before from Brazil, Argentina, Chile, we had all the bands, but they were never. Maybe going to Spain, you know, maybe the Argentina, you know, the Spanish speaking, they were like playing in Spain, I believe. But in Brazil, that we speak Portuguese, so we cannot go to Portugal to sing because there's not many people there, I believe. And then we kind of, with Sepultura and Angra, we kind of built up a scene. We start, you know, going out to play and tour inside Brazil in the places, and then many local promoters that, you know, like vinyl stores owners, you start trying to do some shows, or some radios, you know, radio guys start to do promote some shows, and everything started like this, like in the early 90s. Actually, before it was very tough, and then I believe Angra helped a lot to establish like a circuit, you know, like for the Brazilian scene. But of course, after the economy, you know, got better, a lot of international bands start coming much more, and now like bigger shows, bigger festivals. You know, we are playing the Monster of Rock with Angra in October as well in Brazil. So now they have like Rock in Rio, Monster of Rock, or I don't know, Lollapalooza. You know, this festival, they're going there. You know.
And since you have your guitar right there, you want to show them any techniques, any warm-up techniques or anything like that? Talk about the guitar model, anything?
No, I have this new guitar from Ibanez, yeah. So they're gonna release pretty soon too. This red one, yeah, so I can show this.
What's the name of the?
Well, this is a signature model, and we're gonna launch this the end of the year, I believe. Doing some pictures of the guitar now. I'm playing already with the guitar, you know, getting used to the shape of the neck, you know, things like this. But very nice guitar.
Cool. Yeah, you know, we have to always plug the companies that care about what we do, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's always a dream to be with Ibanez. You know, it's a great company. I grew up listening to many of the Ibanez artists. You know, like George Benson, Steve Vai, Satriani, Pat Metheny. So the jazz and the rock guys. So yeah.
Now you're on that list too.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
And you brought it up, or you touched upon it earlier. What is the toughest lesson you learned in the music business? Because you've been doing it for a while. So what's been the toughest, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I think, well, never lose this innocence of, you know, believing in your music and keep playing, passionate for the music, you know, regardless of what's happening, you know, behind, you know. There's a lot of people that is not, well, there's a lot of people that is really is not passionate about music, and they are doing the business. But there is a lot of people that are really passionate about music, and they are in the business. So that's the good ones that you have to, you know, be with, you know.
It is definitely a business. Good things and bad things, like any business.
Yeah, but you have, yeah, of course, you know, it is. Otherwise, things doesn't happen, you know. But it's good to be surrounded by that people that loves music, you know, that listen to music. They know what you're doing or cares about, you know. Was a fan or is a fan of music or fan of bands and stuff. That's very important.
All right. Anything else you want to tell to the fans that are watching right now?
Well, yeah. Just show the album again. Yes, that's good. So yeah, that's my latest solo album. So check out in the iTunes or the Facebook page and all this social media. You easily can find me there. And then there's a lot of videos from me from recording this album and everything I'm doing. I'm trying to keep modern in this regard. Like up to date with all this Facebook, Twitter, and all this. So yeah, stay in touch.
And hey, which is the next language you're gonna learn?
You know what? This Wikipedia thing that's telling everybody they speak all these languages, and this stuff, because now somebody put that I speak Finnish just because I was living in Finland. But in Finland, everybody speaks English, so it's very hard to learn a new language when everybody speaks English, because you never come into a situation that you really need to speak the language. So I learned some words and try to make fun of the few words that I learned there, but I don't speak Finnish. We have to change this Wikipedia thing. But the other language, yeah, I kind of, when I go to a different country, like mainly the Latin language, French or Italy, Spain, I try to speak. I really think that you can really get into the culture if you speak the language. So that's what I try. To eat the food, to kind of really live the culture you are. So speaking the language or eating the food, and going to the bars or the places that the normal people go, not only the tourist sites, this kind of thing. That's what I like to do when I travel. So yes, I did learn some language, but not the Finnish, or neither the Japanese. People think I speak Japanese just because I learned some phrases and speak. Yeah, but anyway.
All right, Kiko, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys watching again, don't forget Sounds of Innocence, latest project by Kiko.